What's going on, everyone? It's Cam here, Senior National Training Manager at Diode LED, and this is our next reel-to-reel, Bend the Rules of Light, the next generation of LINAIRE Flex. And obviously, as you know, we've done some past reel-to-reels on the LINAIRE Flex family. Today, we're going to be going further than ever before, not just talking about the static white options, or recently when we expanded and now offer RGBW options, but as well as now tunable white and warm dim. And if you're kind of familiar with this series, these are 15-minute product deep dives into either a single product or a single family. So we're going to kind of start high level here, and then we'll kind of get into the specifics and technical specs.
So when we talk about LINAIRE Flex, we mean it's a fully integrated, flexible linear system. And that wording matters. Because if you think about how linear lighting is usually done, it's not one thing. It's a tape light, it's an aluminum channel, it's a lens, it's wiring, it's connectors. It's a system to build step by step in the field. This works for some projects, but also means that the installation process is a little longer. What this does is simplify that. So instead of assembling a line of light, you're integrating a line of light. It sounds simple, but in practice, it changes how you approach the job. Less assembly, fewer components to manage, fewer decisions in the moment. It just streamlines the process. Here's a real-life scenario that applies to projects using the LINAIRE Flex family. Let's say you're doing a backlit mirror or a custom millwork feature. It's not perfectly square. Maybe there's a radius, a few soft turns, or something organic in the design. If you're using traditional tape light, every one of those turns becomes a decision point. You're stopping, cutting, reconnecting, adding wire. And each connection introduces another potential failure point, slowing down the process. Instead of just installing, you're constantly adapting to the layout. With LINAIRE Flex, you approach installation differently.
You can take that same design and run a continuous line of light through it by using the LINAIRE Flex micro sidebend or the Mini 3D, for example, to follow its shape rather than working around it.
No unnecessary breaks, fewer connections, and a much cleaner result. That's where LINAIRE Flex stands out. The vision comes to life without compromising performance or efficiency.
So as you can see, we don't just mean flexibility that the product can bend. It's about creating clean lines of light, continuous unbroken lines of light without having to deal with jumpers, connectors, and all of the other things that can kind of sometimes create problems and issues in the field for both install as well as design, as you saw with our backlit mirror. And so that's what I love about this product family, is that it's allowing people to have more design flexibility and freedom than ever before, but also, as we talk about later here with the free cut option, being able to have that ability to trim and cap in the field or even bring field wire connectors to some of our different profiles. So I want to still talk a little bit more about the high-level features of the LINAIRE Flex family and how I think about these different profiles within this family. To me, it's not just about bending the rules of light, not just about flexibility, but it's about architectural linear lighting. We for so long have had to deal with either rope lighting or these larger, bulky silicone-based products that have a rounded top or big end caps that are not nearly as aesthetic. They serve a purpose, maybe for building eaves or indirect types of lighting, or if it's farther away, you're not seeing all the little details in hardware. What I love about this family, though, is that you're getting those clean rectangular shapes, flat top, dotless, with the option of not even having to utilize end caps and big bulky wire entry types of caps. So that's how I see this product family, but also giving you that flexibility in design and install, but even the profile flexibility of having so many different options at your disposal. So top bend to two different types of side bend to two different 3D bends, so a larger one as well as a smaller one, and even maybe the update we've always wanted on rope light, our Tube 360. These are all over the place when it comes to size on these form factors, but each one of them can serve a purpose on integration into different architectural details. Also, we want to continue this trend in the industry that we've been seeing for the last 5 to 7 years, which is dotless diffusion linear lighting. No one wants to see the dots anymore, but as you know, when people want things smaller form factors, you can see in the lighting industry, everything is becoming more minimalistic, smaller in size. That can create issues. The closer that lens or that diffusion is to the printed circuit board, to that light engine, that can create problems. With the LINAIRE Flex, you're not having to deal with those large dots and runaway diffusion. You get a nice, crisp, dotless diffusion, as well as very, very high color rendering. As you can see, 93 plus CRI at the delivered lumens, but actually we're utilizing a 97 CRI light engine. Probably, in my opinion, the highest quality silicone-based product in the market. Now, not just being able to give you flexibility in the install and design, but even how you assemble this product with factory finished fixtures where we utilize silicone injection, to a hybrid option, trim and cap, to even being able to do field assembly with our top and side band, being able to have different wire entries, top, side, or bottom, to also different types of end caps to trim that fixture down to the appropriate size for that application. And then, of course, durable and water resistant. So when you order the LINAIRE Flex family, in 5 of the 6 profiles, besides the micro side bit, you have the ability to be able to order this from us at pre-cut sections, and then we will actually utilize silicone injection and molding to give you this IP67 option. It's not just for durability, but also for clean aesthetics, which we'll talk about later. Wanted to showcase here how we do this here in Reno, Nevada. This is at our operations center, and it's really a labor of love. We are trying to do as much design and engineering and manufacturing as possible in the United States. So we're going to show you how we're going to actually create a custom fixture length. Maybe someone ordered this specifically to size. So he's marking his the different cut points, and we're going to cut that LINAIRE Flex profile. And then we're going to be able to kind of choose the different wire entries needed. They might have specified bottom wire or side wire or straight wire entry. And then we're going to be able to take that silicone off, cut it out, and then do the soldering process, and then be able to inject silicone back into this product to give it that IP67 resistance to the weather and extreme environments, but also it makes a very, very clean aesthetic look. You can see there we're using almost like these metal grommets on the wire entry to really, I would say, stop any type of mishandling or abuse in the field and breaking that printed circuit board. So you see there, we injected that silicone back on. They're going to pop it out here. And then now you have this nice, clean line of light, clean silicone all the way to the end without having to utilize big end caps. They're going to crimp it down here, make sure that that wire entry is solid and secure for mishandling in the field, test it out, put it in our nice bags for shipping, and get it out there to your project to be able to install into the application needed. So now I want to talk about how we specify this product family. And as you can see here, we have multiple options for profiles. So up to 6 different profiles. And now introducing not just static white, but more dynamic lighting solutions like warm dim, tunable white, or RGBW. There's a lot of different options on how to implement this into a project. So I want to give you a sneak peek on how our internal teams think when we specify these different products, or really any type of system in linear lighting. So with these 6 profiles, to me, where you start though is not the profile, it's the source of light. So always starting with that light source. A warm dim or a static white gives you a completely different type of system than a tunable white or RGBW. Warm dim and static white are 2-wire systems. So now you can utilize a standard electronic dimmable driver with a standard dimmer on the wall versus tunable white, which is 3 wires, or RGBW, which is 5 wires. Now you need to utilize some type of Bluetooth control system like our Kasambi, or maybe an old school RF system like Touchdial, or even a DMX system, and have that more robust controls. So once we get to the light source, okay, we really have 2 options, static or dynamic. When you're consulting your customers, we can try to figure out what is their style, maybe their budget, depending on if they can even afford RGBW or tunable white. So we'll start with static and act as if our customers decided that they really want to just utilize a 3000 Kelvin or a 2700 Kelvin. Okay, now we got to get to the profiles. So you can see here, with the 6 different profiles, okay, we have everything from our top bend, okay, showcasing it here in a channel, to our side bend as well, or micro side bend. Okay, so this little micro side bend is one of my favorites here, where you get really, really good bend radius. See it here, I can do very, very tight bend radiuses, all the way from even doing 90 degrees, soft 90-degree corners, okay, to our larger side bend as well, just depending on the type of application, all the way to our 3D profile. So we have a larger 3D here, as well as our mini 3D. Our larger 3D is one of probably my favorite ones to showcase, because you really get to see kind of that ability to have more design and installation freedom than ever before, but with both having a top bend as well as a side bend. So think about maybe an outdoor fireplace. If you want the light to shoot outwards towards the viewer, you could have this on a top bend shooting outwards, still wrapping that around that fire architectural detail. Versus if you want the light to be indirect and shooting down away from the eyes, you could have it on a side bend, still wrapping around that fireplace, shooting the light down. So giving you more options than ever before, all the way to even our Tube 360. Maybe it's the update on rope lighting we've always wanted. Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. Okay, multi-access, being able to bend this in any direction to kind of create lighting and integrate lighting into all these different types of architectural details, from curves to being able to go up wall, connect to the ceiling. Being able to have multi-access is very key in integrating that linear lighting. Okay, so then from there, okay, now let's just talk about briefly just the different specs. I want to go through this quick since we have already touched on these in past reel-to-reels. I just want to call out a few things. So the top bend, okay, as well as the side bend, are the two product profiles in this family that allow you to have a field wire entry. So all 6 of them, you can do what's called trim and cap. Okay, trim and cap would be something like this. Let's say you cut the 360 here. Okay, you cut that 360, and then now you want to get it to a certain size. Boom, you cut it. Now you can cap it in the field utilizing this silicone end cap and pop it over to be able to stop that light from bleeding out. Okay, so you can do that as well with the side bend, the top bend, the micro side bend, all of our 3D profiles. But the difference between our top and side bend is that you also can do field wire entry. You can see here I'm utilizing a side bend option. You also have a bottom wire as well as a straight wire. Where this matters is, imagine having a spool of our side bend here, okay, and let's say it's 32 feet, that's the max run at the low lumen output, and you will automatically get 3 feet of lead wire on each side of that spool. Now the problem with that though is, let's say you use an 8-foot section, another 8-foot section, you still have another 16 feet of light. Now, usually with the other 4 profiles, you couldn't do anything with those lengths. They just would be unusable. But keep in note though, those are the only 2 profiles that allow you to have that field wire connection. Moving on here, we also have the micro side bend. Keep in mind that this is the only one that is IP65. It has a shorter max run due to the size of that printed circuit board and light engine. So definitely smaller max runs, but solves a lot of problems in the industry. You can integrate into different types of niche applications where you really couldn't before with one single line of light and not having to utilize connections or splice connections and different things like that. Okay, IP65, only one we cannot do our silicone injection as of yet. So we do have to have those a little bit larger end caps on each side. Then the side bend, like I said earlier, it's the only other profile that has the 3 different field connection wire entries if needed. And in the 3D, okay, the 3D is going to be our brightest profile by far. So at the higher lumen level, you get around 425 lumens a foot. That does reduce the max run to 16 feet, okay? But keep that in mind, this is a very, very bright silicone flexible fixture compared to most on the marketplace. And then the mini 3D, okay? So the mini 3D, obviously it's a little bit smaller in size than the typical 3D. So I just wanted to show you this is in the channel versus the larger one just to give you a little bit of a view of the profile differences, okay? But still giving you that option to be able to bend on both axes. So I showed you earlier, so I'll keep moving on, the 3D capabilities, but also our Tube 360. So our Tube 360, we have updated this now here. I'll talk about it in a little bit with our RGBW, but you can see here, this is absolutely a gorgeous light with light coming from all directions, multi-access, being able to bend it any way you want it, okay? Still free cut and just trimming cap. All right, now from there, okay, let's say you want to get into dynamic lighting, okay? And I'm gonna showcase some of the new dynamic lighting solutions. So from there, you have to still choose the profile, because in my opinion, you need to make sure what profiles are actually offered in the dynamic lighting solution that you want or your customer wants. So I still always start there first. So as you can see, you have 4 different profile options. So I'm gonna pop them up here. I'm gonna showcase kind of in different looks. So you have our 3D large and the RGBW that I'll show. We have our top bend here in the tunable white, our side bend in the warm dim, and then our 360, okay, Tube 360 in the RGBW. You can see here a little bit larger in size for that Tube 360. These are what is offered in these 4 different profiles. So again, the 360 is only RGBW, but what I love is the other 3 profiles, now you have the option of RGBW, tunable white, and warm dim. The tunable whites are going to be a CCT range of 1800 Kelvin to 4000, and then the warm dim is going to be a CCT range from 3000 Kelvin down to 1800 Kelvin. So I want to, let's move on here and keep going down the flow chart. So top bend, okay, the max run is going to be 16.4 feet across all 3 dynamic lighting solutions, but keep in mind that is also the same for all of the other profiles, because as of the day with amperage issues, we cannot go longer than 16.4 feet. Okay, cut points though, that's a big one that I want to make sure that we talk about. Cut points, when you get into dynamic lighting solutions, you no longer have the free cut option. Okay, so I'm going to show you here on the LINAIRE Flex 3D large, this is going to be the largest cut points that you get. They're about 2.46 inches, okay? Show you here, this is what we're looking at. Okay, so all of those, and then really the only difference is that the 3D is going to be a slightly larger cut point on the RGBW. The rest of them, though, for the most part, is around 2 inches. You're going to get that 1.96 inches on whether it's warm dim, RGBW, or tunable white, depending on the profile. All right, so as we move through here, okay, top bend with the CCT ranges, again, on the RGBW, you're going to get that 3000 Kelvin chip, and then you have those different CCT ranges across the board, though, okay, with all of the other profiles. All right, still just making sure you understand Tube 360 is only RGBW. Okay, and then now getting into the factory IP67 solutions versus the field termination IP65. Okay, so with the top end on all of them, yes, you can do that field termination. You cannot do, though, the wire entry, the field wire entry, but we can do different types of wire entries at the factory with our silicone injection. Okay, so keep in mind, though, the Tube 360 is the only field termination. Okay, so we cannot do silicone injection at the factory as of today. Okay, now with that silicone injection, as you've seen earlier on the video, you notice a very nice clean look. So maybe from underneath, you kind of see it here, but from above, now you get that line of light all the way to the end, nice and clean. Okay, so I want to demo these really quickly and just showcase a few of my favorite configurations. So I want to start with our 3D, larger 3D RGBW. Okay, look at that saturation through the camera even. So in person, this is dark, deep, saturated, rich colors, almost like 8K OLED. So absolutely gorgeous, still having that 3D bend radius, okay? And now another one that I love to show is our new Tube 360 RGBW. This is something you have to get a sample of, okay? Let me pop it up here, there we go. So absolutely gorgeous, very, very rich saturated colors, okay? And then we'll get into the side bend warm dim. I wanted to show you this option. Okay, so I'm gonna pop it on here and we'll put it away from the camera. And as you can see here, as I dim down very low, always hard to capture it over over camera, but you can get very, very low where almost it doesn't even look like it's on, still completely dotless throughout the entire dim curvature all the way down to that 1800 Kelvin, okay? And then the top bend tunable white. So I'm pop this on here and then I'll play around with some different colors. So I can switch it around to even a really nice crisp high 4000 down to that 1800 Kelvin, okay? A little bit hard to see on camera, but again, still giving you a very nice long range of CCT on that tunable white. So unlike the static white options that have that free cut technology, you can see here we do have to have cut points with our dynamic lighting solutions. But I don't want to forget about that free cut technology. So let's take a closer look at how that works. And then from there, okay, we can talk about mounting accessories. So I wanted to end it here. Really, in the end run, with all three of the all the profiles, for the most part, you get the option of a mounting clip, okay, spine channel, and straight channel. So I'm going to show you a couple options here. So the spine channel, as you can see here, this is the 3D version. Okay, I have it as well in the side bend, probably our most popular version with the spine channel. So a lot of times people will utilize the spine channel on like retaining walls, and then they will drill it in on the actual sides of the retaining wall, curvature going all the way through, then mount the other materials above it, right, or on the side, and then place that fixture in there, and now it's just curving along with that retaining wall. So spine channels are very useful, but also we have things like straight channels. So I'm going to give you a couple cool examples of this. So I love to show it in our top and side bend. As soon as you put it into a spine channel, you almost create like a fixture, okay, a fully loaded fixture, where now that light, you can see from the side, almost does not have any bleed out. It just looks very, very nice and clean, both in our side bend as well as our top bend, our 3D, but also our micro side bend. So this is another really cool one to showcase. A lot of people are utilizing this for millwork. They'll take the actual channel, okay, it comes with those countersunk screws. They will then niche it out with a dado blade. Obviously no flanges, you need to be spot on with that dado cut, and then pop that in and have this nice little bead of light. Okay, so really, really cool option for different types of millwork applications as well, okay? And then we also, though, have the different clip options. So I wanted to showcase a few of these just because they're interesting and probably have not seen them on camera before, okay, or in person. So I just wanted to show you the different options. Okay, we have everything from 2 different types of clips for the 360. Okay, so these are a little bit more robust. These are meant to kind of hide into the 360 and not fully wrap around it. Okay, we also, though, have just our standard kind of flat clips for different things like our top bend here, as well as side bend. You can see here, this is kind of a sheet aluminum metal that's painted. And then even to the small little clips for the micro side bend. You can see here, very, very small profiles to be able to then now still clip that in, have that micro side bend and do different curves and radiuses on the wall or ceiling by utilizing these really strong metal clips. Okay. So you can see here, right, just the different versions. And then just wanted to make sure at the end here, just to note what profiles go to each. So mounting clips, all profiles have it. Okay, straight channel, all profiles besides the Tube 360, and then spine channel, all profiles besides the Tube 360 and the micro side bend. So as you can see, we have all these different options now, from the profiles to the different mounting accessories to now having dynamic lighting solutions like tunable white, warm dim, RGBW. But also now I want to showcase how we can utilize this in a real world application.
Where can this be applied? If you're doing straight runs and standard installs, where cost is the main driver. Traditional tape lights work perfectly. If you start to work on curved applications, custom features, and places where you want to reduce connection points, or maybe just working to create a cleaner overall install, LINAIRE Flex really stands out there. It's about solving a different set of problems more efficiently, not necessarily about replacing everything. Remember the backlit mirror application we discussed earlier? Here are some simple setups to show how this looks when correctly installed. Even when it's in a controlled environment like this, there's a consistent line of light with no visible dots. There are no visible breaks or exposed segments. The lighting just follows the shape naturally. That's our goal, a clean execution without overcomplicating the install.
So look at that. As you can see, implementing or integrating LINAIRE Flex into these real-world applications can not only make the installation much cleaner, but the design much cleaner, having those uninterrupted, continuous lines of light. So as we always end it here, we're going to just talk about some of the training opportunities that we have. We have that new training section on the Diode LED website. If you either hover your mouse over resources, you can click training, or just click resources and then you'll see another tab for training. That will take you to a landing page that has from our factory training availabilities and dates to our virtual trainings, as well as our YouTube page. And that's a big thing that I want to just make sure that we're really kind of getting the word out there. Is we have an awesome YouTube page with lots of cool videos. So go check it out, like, subscribe, comment, okay, get involved. Let us know if there's anything else you would like to see, any other types of videos or video series. Okay, as well as just giving you an example of just one of those videos, right? The Light Lab series, and how we do these longer product assembly, deep dives, being able to show an installer, anyone in the field, on how to properly assemble these products and all the tips and tricks that go with it. Virtual training. Okay, go check out our Reel to Reel series. That's our longest lasting series. We have now 28 to I think 30 different videos, but also our Why It Matters series, our Light Lab series, our how-to videos, and then of course field training. If you ever need us to get out there to your territory, we can do a lot of cool things, from going to a Top Golf, shipping out a bunch of hands-on training product materials, having fun afterwards, whacking some golf balls. It's a great time. And then factory training, of course. So we host everything from standard trainings 3 times a year to intermediate to advanced training. So keep that in mind. Go check out the dates. We'd love to have you up here in Reno, Nevada. All right, well, that's a wrap. I appreciate your time. It's Cam here, Senior National Training Manager at Diode LED, and I will see you on the next Reel to Reel.